The Curse of the Chupacabra. Prologue. The town of San Miguel was small, nestled deep in the arid valleys of Mexico. It was a quiet place where people lived simple lives, tending to their farms and livestock. But one night something changed. A terrible presence swept through the land, leaving behind only horror and death. The legend of the Chupacabra, once whispered in fear, became all too real. The first victim. It began with old Don Alberto's farm. He woke one morning to find his goats lying dead in the dirt, their bodies drained of blood, punctured by strange wounds. There were no tracks, no signs of struggle, only the eerie silence of the desert. The villagers muttered among themselves, recalling stories from their grandparents about a creature that preyed on animals in the dead of night. Alberto, too proud to believe in myths, set up traps around his farm, determined to catch the predator. But the following night, the same thing happened again. This time, it wasn't just his goats. His prize stallion, a beast of muscle and fury, was found lifeless, eyes wide with terror, its throat pierced by two precise punctures. Panic spread through San Miguel like wildfire. A town in fear. The mayor, Santiago Morales, called a town meeting. Farmers, merchants, and hunters gathered in the candlelit church, whispering their fears. Some spoke of a rabid animal, others of bandits playing tricks. But the elders knew better. El Chupacabra has returned, said Abuela Rosa, her wrinkled hands trembling. I saw it once when I was a child. It moves like a shadow, faster than the eye can follow. It drinks the blood of the living and vanishes before dawn. Many scoffed, but those who had lost their livestock did not laugh. They knew something unnatural was at work. The hunt begins. Determined to end the nightmare, a group of men armed with rifles and torches ventured into the hills where the attacks had occurred. Among them was Javier, the town's best hunter, a man who feared nothing. If this thing bleeds, we can kill it, he said, leading the way. As night fell, an unnatural stillness settled over the desert. Even the crickets were silent. The men walked cautiously, torches flickering, their eyes scanning the darkness. Then from the shadows came a sound, a guttural, rasping breath. Something moved. A pair of glowing red eyes appeared in the blackness. Before anyone could react, the beast struck. The attack. It was faster than anything they had ever seen. A blur of gray scales and razor-sharp claws tore through them, knocking Javier to the ground. He barely managed to fire his rifle, but the creature was already gone, leaving only a deep slash on his arm. The others fired blindly into the night, their bullets striking nothing but air. Then, as suddenly as it had come, the thing disappeared, leaving behind the lifeless body of one of the hunters, his face frozen in a silent scream. The revelation. Javier, injured but alive, was taken back to the village. Feverish and delirious, he spoke of what he had seen. The Chupacabra, standing on two legs, its body covered in spiked scales, its fangs dripping with the blood of its victims. The town knew then that they were dealing with something beyond their understanding. They boarded up their homes, lit fires to keep the darkness at bay, and prayed that the creature would pass them by. But the Chupacabra was not done with San Miguel. A mother's nightmare. That night, Maria, a young mother, awoke to the sound of her baby crying. She sat up in bed, heart pounding. Then she heard it, the rasping breath just outside her window. She clutched her child tightly, daring not to move. The wooden shutters rattled. Long, clawed fingers scraped against the glass. Maria bit her lip, forcing herself not to scream. The creature was testing the barrier, seeking a way in. Then from outside came the sudden blast of a gunshot. It was Javier standing in the street, his rifle raised. "Come and face me, demon!" he roared. The Chupacabra turned its gaze toward him, its red eyes burning with hatred. It let out a shriek, a sound so inhuman that the very ground seemed to tremble. Then it leaped toward him. The final stand. Javier fired, the bullet striking the creature's shoulder. It let out a furious howl but kept coming. He fired again and again, each shot slowing it down, but not stopping it. Finally, as it lunged, he grabbed a silver knife from his belt, the one his grandmother had blessed years ago, and drove it deep into the creature's chest. The chupacabra let out one final ear-piercing scream before collapsing into the dust. Its body convulsed, its red eyes fading to black. And then, just as suddenly as it had come, it was gone, dissolving into shadow, as if it had never been real at all. The aftermath. By dawn, the town gathered to see where the creature had fallen, but there was no body, owned.